saw Peter warming himself, she stared at him and said, "You also were with Jesus, the man from Nazareth." But he denied it, saying, "I do not know or understand what you are talking about." And he went out into the forecourt. Then the cock crowed. And the servant girl, on seeing him, began again to say to the bystanders, "This man is one of them." But again he denied it. Then after a little while, the bystanders said to Peter, "Certainly you are one of them, for you are a Galilean." But he began to curse, and he swore an oath, "I do not know this man you are talking about." At that moment, the cock crowed for the second time. Peter remembered that Jesus had said to him, "Before the cock crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." And he broke down and wept. The Gospel of the Lord. At a small Catholic primary school, the children were queued up at lunchtime. And right at the very beginning of the lunch queue on the table was a basket filled full of lovely apples. But Sister had written a note for the children. "Take only one. God is watching." As they moved along the queue, eventually they got to the other side of the table, and there was a tray with lovely chocolate chip muffins. And one of the children had written his own note. "Take as many as you like. God's watching the apples." So that young boy obviously thought that Sister was telling the truth. But the jury is out whether it's a result of our DNA, evolution, or just the way we've been brought up. That's what an expert from the British Science Museum said recently about our tendency to tell lies. She says, "Lying may seem to be an unavoidable part of human nature, but it's an important part of social interaction." I thought that was a very strange thing for her to say. That in our dealings with each other, when we're talking to other people, that avoiding the truth is an important part of that interaction. But maybe it's only strange for me to hear someone admit that. The research was carried out recently into our habit of telling lies. And I'm afraid to say, sorry to say, that it's one of those competitions that we men won. According to the research, men on average will lie about 3 times a day, women only twice. As part of their research, they compiled lists of the 10 most likely lies of men, and another list then for women. And interestingly, the number 10 on both lists for men and women was the same thing. It's just what I've always wanted. I wonder if we'd be able to guess what the number 1 would be on the men's or the women's list. Well, according to this, the number 1 likely lie for a woman is, "Nothing's wrong, I'm fine." And for men, "I didn't have that much to drink." But I'm sure none of you would know anything about those lies. Our relationship with the truth, it seems, is quite complicated. There are times when the truth is just too much hassle. Like if you're out eating at a restaurant and what you're served really isn't very nice, and you leave most of it on the plate. But then when the waiter or waitress comes along and asks, "Was everything okay?" we often answer, "Oh yes, I just wasn't very hungry." It's too much hassle to tell the truth. Or sometimes the truth can be just too embarrassing. friend of mine runs one of these weight loss and fitness classes in Belfast. And she also is always encouraging her children to watch what they eat, not to eat too many sweets, not to eat too much chocolate. Well, one day recently she was doing some business in the post office. Behind her, she could hear her 5-year-old son recruiting a new member. To quite a large man, her son said, "You obviously eat a lot of cakes and sweets as well. You should come to my mummy's weight loss class." Of course, she was very embarrassed, made her apologies, and took him by the hand very quickly.